Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week, I checked out 1990, The Bronx Warriors, also known as just The Bronx Warriors. And this 1982 film was directed by Enzo Castellari and stars Mark Gregory, Fred Williamson, and Vic Mero, among others, of course. The story of this movie takes place in a world where the Bronx, one of the boroughs of New York City, is just lost to the gang, so police don't operate there anymore. Then one day, a rich girl goes into the Bronx, and she doesn't want to return, but people, of course, want her to return to, regular New York City. And so she teams up with this gang leader named Trash to try to, stay in the Bronx. Along the way, of course, she gets kidnapped, and Trash has to go save her, and of course, dealing with the other gangs. There's the Tiger Gang, the Iron Man Gang, and all these other things that happen along the way. What will happen, though? Well, for that, you have to watch the movie and find out. Alright, so let's discuss this movie. So what works with it? Well, this is one of those 80s movies that is just a bunch of fun. Of course, you've probably seen the fun in other movies. I would say that this movie is kind of like The Warriors, if you've seen that one with all the different gangs. And they try to have a variety of gangs just like The Warriors, not as many. They still have ones that are, dressed up as performers or whatever. And then there's other gangs where it's like a rollerblade gang, and they're called the Zombies for some reason, not the Rollerblades or whatever. They have the Tigers and a bunch of other ones as well. So if you are familiar with the Warriors and you do like that style, this is a fun one as well. It also has other elements taken out of other movies. Like, for example, there is Escape from New York. It's kind of like that Escape from New York situation. However, this one, they want to stay inside the lawless zone. And so it's just kind of like a reverse of Escape from New York that way. So it is a lot of the things that you have seen before. I do think it takes it from a unique perspective where the story is different enough where it does become its own thing. So that is certainly good. It is a unique, fun 80s movie. Other than that, there are a bunch of other fun things in this one. You like their motorcycles? All their motorcycles have this glowing skull on it for no reason. And I certainly did enjoy that. Fred Williamson's gang is called the Tigers, and they have kind of this, gangster motif about them. And he's supposed to be this king character, and he's really cool. And all their costumes work. His henchwoman's costume is good. And so, yeah, all the costumes certainly work. The design of the bikes. They have this one big rig truck that goes around too. That's just a bunch of fun. And so there are lots of things that just provide entertainment for you. The more you kind of look at the screen, the more you notice these small little details here and there. And so it is quite a bit of engagement that way that just helps you get into this one and just lets you go along with it. In addition, like I said, there's lots of fun stuff with the plot, and I'm probably leaving out a bunch of it. Like my, description at the beginning, I've left out several kind of subplots with the governor trying to get this woman and then hiring Vic Mero to, go in there and, mess up with all the gangs and how he does that. And he's playing off these different characters. And then he apparently grew up in the Bronx. So all of the characters know who this guy is. And they're like, oh no, this guy, we got to deal with this guy. And so it is kind of multifaceted that way, coming from different angles. So it is pretty interesting that way where you do get engaged with all these different facets of the story and how they all kind of weave into each other. And so it really does kind of show a better quality of just, an 80s standard one. So that is certainly a big plus in my books. Another highlight of this movie is the main character played by Mark Gregory. I saw another video where it was saying Mark Gregory was supposedly just a bartender or something, and the director just kind of picked him out of the crowd and put him in his movie as the main character. And he's clearly not a professional actor by any means. And just the way he kind of struts around is very clearly, unprofessional of him. But he's super hyper aware of his posture all the time. So he's always very well postured. Even when he's riding his motorcycle, he's doing it, I want to say daintily, but let's use the word regal, okay? It means royalty. So it's very regal, well postured riding his motorcycle. And you just gotta wonder about it. He just struts around with that posture as well. And every kind of thing that he does is just interesting to watch how he does it. It's very fascinating. Other characters certainly also help steal the show for me. Fred Williamson, he does a great job. He's like this king character, and he certainly kind of steals the show towards the end. Vic Morrow certainly also does a similar thing when he's on screen. He is hamming it up a little bit. So all of the other characters certainly get you into this one where you really do want to root for them and you just want to see them succeed. And that brings me to what doesn't work with this film. Well, certainly there are things that are very odd in this one. The oddest thing I can think of is that in the beginning, there's like this standoff between these two gangs, and there's this drummer just going at it, just drumming the whole thing. Like they're coming in with their car slowly, and he's just drumming. They like have a standoff, and he's just drumming. Right, they go talk to the boss, and he's just drumming there. And it like defies explanation. I read on IMDb that like the director just like saw this band the night before, like pulled in the drummer without explanation to the crew or anything like that. So it's just one of those things that's just so odd. But it does add to that creativity of it if you want to put a good spin on it. It's just, like I said, one of these odd things in this one. And there's quite a few other ones as well. I won't, go into all the details, let you discover them on your own. But there are quite a few odd things in this one that just, defy explanation. Other than that, unfortunately, I did talk about, Mark Gregory before. He's not a professional actor. And because of that, his acting is not very good. Even when he's like fighting and stuff, he kind of seems to have like this muted face on himself. And so there's lots of things that could just go into his mannerisms that make you really not believe that he's a gang leader. Like, how could he possibly be a gang leader when he does all this stuff? And so, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's a miscast for sure, but like, I'm happy they cast him as that. You would have never have seen his performance otherwise, right? So it's one of those things where you can't take it too serious. You have to forgive it in a variety of different ways. And that's just, one of them. As for a recommendation, well, of course, if you like cheesy 80s movies, this is one to press play on. I think it's also the first of a trilogy, so I might try to check out the other two at some point. But for now, just the first one? Yeah, for sure, go press play on this one. As for my rating, well, I'll give it the above average score of 6. I certainly did think it was better than average for, one of these cheesy 80s movies that just tries to copy other stuff. And so, yeah, I did enjoy it. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Oh, hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with a post-credit scene this time. I really only decided to watch this movie because I watched another channel called The Wacky World Lounge, and they did a little, 5-minute review on it as well, and it was really interesting. So I think if you liked our content here, you might like Wacky World Lounge content as well. So I thought I'd give them a shout out. They're just, a smaller YouTube channel with like 1,000 subscribers or whatnot. So, if you feel like it, do check them out. And with that being said, that's it from me today. So yeah, I'll see you next time.